Okay, people. So today is July 30th, 2017, and I'm talking to my grandson about how I don't think that
The city?
well, yeah, definitely the city doesn't want me here, right? They have been harassing me for a long time, people. Okay? They got various reasons. You know, obviously they don't like me talking about the homeless crises and the corruption within the realty market, right? And how poor people and you know, low income families, that type of thing, are being forced out of their homes just so that property taxes can be maintained, right? While landlords continue to benefit, basically. And I'm explaining to him that, you know, now that the majority of the work in the yard is done, I'm no longer needed, right? I can't do major roof repairs in terms on the porch and under the garage. I mean, obviously I'm going to try and do something in the garage because I'll still have to live here at some point come winter and fall, right? But, you know, like, this one more strike, you're out for working in this yard consecutively for 7 years straight, anywhere between 3 to 5 days a week, excluding in the heart of winter. This last winter, there was a 3-month period when I was not in the yard. Prior to that, I have videos of me being out in the winter, in December, in this yard, working in this yard, people. So, November, December. Come end of January, February, right back at it. So what? I get a 2-month break. And, you know, now that you can plant gardens, right? There's a greenhouse. There's the seedling room, right? The pond, whether the new tenants or not, keep the pond. You know, all the beautiful flowers, you know, the food producing plants, grass in the back. It's done, basically. They don't want me here. They want somebody in here paying $2,200 a month and up. That's what they want. Or they want to sell the house for $1.2 million, like the one over there, so that the city hall can get its tax base and keep that tax base as they harass the most vulnerable, whether it's the homeless people, right? Or me moving into another house and having to start all over again.
No!
Now, Andre doesn't want to move. He keeps telling me he likes this house. Why wouldn't he? I've put thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into this yard, people. I put thousands of dollars into this yard, people. Why wouldn't he like this house? Right?
Because I love it?
I know you do, but the people who own it and the people who seem to think that they manage it in terms of the city Bureau of Land Management, right? I mean, they're attacking my car, people. I have no cars in the front of my driveway, in the front of my house. Every now and then, my son has his car parked on the side here in the front, but that's it. There's no 8 cars in my driveway. There's not even 1 car in the front, minus when my son has his there from time to time, because he takes it and he goes somewhere else, right? My car just sits in the back in my driveway. Out of sight, out of mind. But now my car is being targeted because I'm not driving it at this point, right? Because we know that the city of Surrey is too busy shopping around for their next fucking victim in terms of what house do we want next? Who lives in that house? Who owns that house? Are they renters or are they tenants? Are they old? It's all cued, people. It's all cued. It's all cued. I'm telling you. This technology that we have, you have to remember that the government is 25 years in advance of what we know about. That's pretty standard information in terms of how our society is geared. And like you know, like just like with this, there's such a thing as like the Telsa energy, right? They keep that Telsa energy under wraps because they want people paying for hydro, right? But we don't know what they've done with that Telsa energy. And like I've said, I have videos of unusual activity where it is obviously some form of energy source going through my videos and including my house. And just with the being ambiguous about, well, you know, we're coming in and we're picking up $9,000 worth of stuff that we know realistically that they're not going to be throwing out into the dumpster before they pick through it, people. Okay? But they don't tell you what it is that they want thrown out as they target your back driveway in an alley, as they ignore piles and piles of garbage that has been sitting not only 20 feet away. I mean, I'm being targeted, right? Because they're trying to give a false perception about how this neighborhood is middle class, even though they have a high population of homeless people, with more going into that mix as they're being forced out of their houses or their homes. They can't find housing because, like I said, the minute I move out of this house, you can guarantee it will be $2,000 and up. And because of the greenhouse and that type of thing, they're going to be pushing for $2,200, $2,300, $2,400 a month. And they're going to be specifically looking for a man to come in with carpentry skills to do the things that I haven't been able to do. And the excuse will be, well, the house is old. If you can do that, great. But other than that, don't expect for us to really fix the unnecessary stuff, because I'm not saying my landlords don't fix things. They did the roof when the roof needed to be done. They did the water tank when the old water tank finally blew, right? You know, they did the pipes when eventually it just had to be done, even though it should have been done before I moved in, right? Otherwise, it would have saved 4 years of wasting my time and then being attacked for not having the energy to go off and do it fast enough because I was in the back working on the greenhouse. So I took a year break from the front because I worked 4 years straight in the front. So I took that 5th year and I worked in the back, and then Uncle John went missing and the city started targeting toys and compost boxes so that they could lead up to their pre-plan, let's go for the back now, because we want to make the neighborhood look like it's a rich neighborhood with all these nice people living in this neighborhood, right? And obviously, there's, you know, Judy is the problem here with her back. So they can come in with their strike 2 and come in like Argyle at any point in near future with strike 3 and throw me out on buckets that I use in the yard to pick weeds that I've been picking for the last 7 years. So they can make their money on house sales or rent and capitalize off of somebody else's energy when they come in fresh. So in the meantime, because of this nonsense, you know, my grandson is out in the back here as I'm working, and those kids
over there?
No, those kids over there with behind the fence, the ones with the garbage in the back, those kids hanging over the fence telling Andre that they don't like him yesterday. And I'm telling Andre now, I'm saying, Andre, if people talk to you like that, you know, you just tell them, like, I have done nothing to you, and if you don't like me, don't talk to me. And just...
And leave me alone?
And leave me alone. Why are they...
And walk away?
And walk away. That's right. Why are they hanging over this high fence to tease Andre? Why, people? Little kids, same age as Andre, hanging over their high fence, teasing Andre. So, you know, well, maybe they have their friends that want to move into this house, the parents. and the parents are on the inside talking, right? Trying to get me evicted. They have their agenda. Maybe it's the people 4 doors down in their duplex and the one across the street, this little network of haters, for whatever reason. Not that I've ever done anything to them, because I haven't. The only thing that I wanted to do, people, was rent a house next to the duplex to try and build in a recovery house, second stage living, because we have such a high need of homelessness, right? But they didn't want that because the wolf pack moved in, remember? As if the wolf pack was my responsibility. And that one woman went on a hissy fit, right? Even though she inherited money from her dead mom to build up her property in terms of flowers and all this other crap, right? But she's on the attack, stalking my YouTube channel, right? Because she's got to put herself up on that pedestal to make herself feel good. It just seems like that's the only way people know how to make themselves feel good, is by attacking others. So this is the same kind of situation with this house. Now that the work is almost done, in terms of the yard, right? I'm forced to live on pins and needles, waiting for the axe to come down again, because the city can roll up any time with their ambiguous complaint and threats, because they're trying to put out a false perception that this neighborhood is middle class and well off to do, and everybody is nice in it. And as for the homeless population, all you have to do is just give them enough time and they'll die off and go away. It doesn't matter what families are affected by that and how we are affected by that, watching our loved ones being murdered off and abused out in the streets because there's inadequate health care, there's inadequate housing, right? Inadequate everything, people, unless you've got money. So maybe this is why my landlords are doing this. Maybe they feel that they need to have this money in order to protect them from being attacked. So before they will put themselves out, because I said to this one, why aren't you standing up for me? Right? You're not blind. You can see what I've done. But instead, she's just, I guess she's a realtor, right? She's looking for that pristine, maximum dollar amount.
No, look what I made.
Please.
To videotape it.
No, wait. Andre, please. Andre, please.
Okay, wait.
She's looking for that pristine, get that maximum dollar amount. Right. So anyway, I'm going to be very candid with my landlords when they come. And I'm going to ask them why they don't want me here. And if they use the yard as an excuse, I'll call them on it by saying that's bogus. Because when I moved in, the yard was nothing but weeds, sand, and mud. And morning glory. Right? And now that the work is almost done, why are you trying to force me out? Is it because you want to protect yourselves in terms of, if you feel, well, I don't know if I'll go into this much detail, but they have my nonprofit information, and my landlord may very well even be watching my videos, but I'm going to make sure that everybody gets my nonprofit information in terms of my little card with my web address and my YouTube channel, because I'm not afraid to stand up to the truth, people, to the truth. I tell the story as the story unfolds, okay? If Uncle John wouldn't have been medically kidnapped through the facilities that are being operated in the city of Surrey for the purpose of foreclosing on people's houses and seizing their assets en masse, that shed would have been done 2 years ago. And the city wouldn't have had an excuse to come in and do what they're doing now. As they target my car now. Or at least my landlady's daughter-in-law is now beginning to target my car. Because I guess to her it's an eyesore. It's not a 2016 Subaru, right?
What's a Subaru?
I don't know, some kind of van or something.
Oh, they have a van over there.
So
Across the street.
I have no money. I have no way to go out of here. I have nothing, people. I have nothing. I have nothing. I spent my time trying to build a house for my family as my family is being torn apart by people that want to stand on this side of the fence, seeming to think that it's going to be money that's going to protect them. So that gives them the green light to be vicious, calculating, ambiguous as they calculate their next attack.
Okay.
Yeah. And being that I do talk about what I'm going to do, and, I did mention that as soon as the food was planted, right, basically I was going to get up into the back and work on that shed. Notice how the city just showed up and then just started focusing on that. But, like I said, their technology, these government workers with their secret contracts and, don't they get their employees to sign, right, to not talk about, what their job description really is in the community when they go out and they're being employed by the government in terms of spying on people and God knows what else they do, right? Now that Andre's shed will be done, right, that the property value just goes up. That's all, because it's called an amenity, people, right? If you notice, when I moved in, I had no amenities. Now, why is that? Poor family moving into a house with no sheds, nothing, and a crappy garage with a leaky porch, and then being told, right, that in the wintertime, you're not allowed to use your porch. Only allowed to use it in the summertime, because that's what porches are for, right? Never mind, that you might want to put something like it for storage or whatever, right? And, or that when when it rains, the porch gets all muddied and algaed up and just raccoons running on it and, and just, live with it. Just deal with it, right? Who cares if there's things getting ruined time after time? It doesn't matter. Because you're just a renter. You're a nobody. You just pay your mortgage for somebody else. That's it. It's like the caste system. I feel like I'm in a caste system, people. Like I said, this is worse than a whip on my back. This is beyond a whip on my back now. This is being trapped in a caste system. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how good you try to be in terms of, I could have left the yard as is, taken a lawnmower and mowed down weeds and just let it get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and then just move. I could have just banked my money and just moved. Instead, I invested into the yard, trying to make it into a home, right? And with that, you need amenities called sheds and that type of thing, right? And because there is such a raccoon problem, and it had such a huge weed problem, I built in the other amenities, like the greenhouse and that type of thing. Which has brought the property value up, right? And with the city being corrupt with it is, with the housing market, right? Like I said, flushing out old people and, having them sell their houses through the healthcare system and that type of thing. And, not providing proper housing for anyone below a certain income level, basically, right? And not caring where you go and how you get there and what happens to you when you get there. So, now that this shed it will be done. It will be done within the week. All right? There's no joy in it now. No. Because the epitome of what is right in our society, the elitism, that seem to think that their money is going to buy them protection when it's their turn to be attacked, right? And targeted. Now, some of them are going to get through that gate, but I don't think it's going to be a gate to heaven. I really don't. Because this is all, I'm feeling just, this is all money based, right? And they're trying to make it personal, when in fact, it's the money that's fueling this, people. Like I said, I've been here 7 years. The first 5 years, no harassment, nothing. Nothing. Okay? Not until the city hall came in and they decided that they wanted to bring this neighborhood up into a middle class, nice people neighborhood. There's nothing nice about this neighborhood, people. You go, you find needles everywhere you go. It doesn't matter. And you find sick people everywhere you go. It doesn't matter. And more sick people are ending out on the streets with these emergency trucks running in and picking them, scraping. They don't even pick them up off the ground. They just scrape them off the ground and whisk them off for their science experiments. Not to give them health care, people. They don't give them health care. They revive them to throw them back out to see how much the mind can take through their mind control crap. Because I'm seeing it happen with my daughter. And through my daughter, I see what happens to other people. Oh, you caught it. Through my daughter, I see what happens to other people. And that's what these people that are harassing me. Let me just finish. That's what's happening. They're trying to break my spirit. They want me to be in that same category with the homeless people, broken spirited. So they can come along and scrape me up off the ground, whisk me off, and do more mind control experiments to destroy my family. Because it's economics, genocide in Canada. Somebody's benefiting from this. It sure in hell isn't the renters. Because as soon as you get to a certain point, if you invest into the house that you're renting, like I did, and then you got the city rolling up behind, right? Not satisfied because they're working in partnership with these homeowners or whoever through their technologies, thinking that they're going to be safe, right? That money will buy them safety. Is that what the world has come down to? Money buys you safety? Do my landlords honestly think that they're safe just because they own 4 houses or 3 houses and they can force me out of this house so that they can make more money because that buys them safety? Is that what my landlords really think? Is that what my landlord's daughter-in-law really thinks at her age, that what she's doing right now to innocent people? Because if she's doing this to my family and she's doing this to me, you know she's doing it to other people. Because she's a realtor, right? You're screaming at me that Andre shouldn't have toys in the backyard, in the driveway, like in my back driveway, playing in the alley right there with his little friends. Or that I should get rid of my car because it doesn't look middle class. Who the fuck goes through the alley outside of the city and a couple of people that live over there? In an old broken down house that was a grow up that as soon as you go into the basement, the mold hits you like a freaking brick wall. I doubt those people are complaining because those people don't want to lose their moldy house. As they're, oh, but the whole neighborhood is being torn down. So we have a right to treat you the way we have been treating you. Because it's just a matter of time before you lose it all anyway, so don't build the shed. Because they're just going to tear down the house next year. Because they're building over there now. No, people, that shed will sit there for another 5 to 15, 20 fucking years before they tear down this house. Because if that was the case, every fucking house on this whole fucking radius of a whole block would be torn down. I'm not that gullible. Those people with their children hanging over their high fence telling my grandson that they don't like him. Why? They don't even know him. They're not even allowed to play with him. Regardless of what the back looks like. Because there's some immigrant family that came to Canada to fill their freaking boots, to buy their way into heaven because they want a better life. by any means necessary with their bigotry in their heart against whoever doesn't look like them in terms of skin color, so they can have their friends move in and then walk over my half-dead body on the street and call me trash. But you don't see them helping. You don't see them helping with nothing. Because they're too busy banking it by any means necessary. Just like what's going on in this house. Right? They want to profit off of this house. That's all. That's all it is, people. The city wants to profit. Right? The landlords want to profit. The daughter-in-law realtor wants to profit. And now that they can really profit between themselves with their freaking network of overinflating housing in partnership with corrupt healthcare systems and banking systems, so they can drive around with their 2017 fucking vehicles and live in their monster houses with their 15 cars in front, and then drive up in my driveway and tell me I'm not even allowed to have my car that I've owned for like 27 years, that was parked, and when it got parked, it was running, people. But we know what happened to Uncle John. He got medically kidnapped for his money. Because the people that medically kidnapped him seem to think that by doing that will buy them safety. Because that's more money for them. As they wave now a carrot in front of my nose. Well, we'll let you live here for 1 more year, just long enough to lay down the bricks. Just long enough to lay down the bricks, people. Just long enough to lay down the bricks. And tidy up. Just tidy up a little bit more for us. And then we'll find another excuse to kick you out if you don't want to fucking leave after you've done laying down the bricks and fix the leaky garage and pull down all that cruddy shit. We'll just call the city back in. That will be your 3rd strike. Boy, that's a real happy home now, isn't it? All for them to buy safety for themselves. So the mayor of this city can sit up on her fat fucking ass. Talking about the Surrey vision. The Surrey vision. The dream of the vision. Vision of what? What's the vision, people? A false perception of reality? Where they can't even be honest? Right? I already showed you I'm not a hoarder. I already showed you how my stuff gets ruined year after year after year because of inadequate storage space. And then when I do build in the storage space, right, I'm told that it's still not good enough and that I got 1 year left. But I'll tell you, and this is why I came back, whoever moves into this house after I'm gone, trust me, they are going to like everything that I've done in terms of the greenhouse, the hen house, this 1, 2, 3, 4 storage sheds that I've made, even Mr. Lace's pen, which could be a dog den, could be a bird aviary, could be just another little storage like I got wood in there right now. All the gardens, people, the walkways, the blueberry bushes, the raspberry bushes, all of it. They'll be like, who lived here before? Huh? Who lived in this house before they moved in? What will the story be then?